I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News, exposing satanic world government. I hope you guys are all doing well. If you are in the live chat, we just do ask that you keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forward to us by the platforms we're utilizing tonight. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you know we go live. If you are following us over on the live over on Facebook, again, welcome. Take a minute to like the page, share this to your social media so we can get unshadow banned. So, hi guys, long time no see. Been a while, actually, since before I went on vacation. You guys will know that before I went on vacation, I did a live stream with Sean Carone, and we talked about the WEF and WEO. You may notice that video is no longer available. We got hit with misinformation again. So that's why we're on this channel right now. I did put in an appeal, and unfortunately, like always, for misinformation, we don't usually win the appeal. If you're following us over on Rise of the New World Order on Wednesday nights, well, you won't be seeing us over there for a while either. Got 90 days over there as well. So we're just batting 1,000 here. I'm not sure where we're going to be tomorrow night or Wednesday night. I haven't decided yet. It might be on one of these channels, or it might be over on Down the Rabbit Hole channel. We're not quite sure yet, but I'll let you guys know before that. So, but again, I hope you guys are all doing well. And went on vacation, came back, got sick, just starting to feel a little bit better now. And so, yeah. So anyways, so I wanted to pop on here tonight. This is totally random, because I've been seen a lot of things popping up, and a lot of things that to the normal person or to the untrained eye would possibly cause unsettlingness, or is that word unsettling, cause somebody to be unsettled, or to even in some cases to be fearful. I just want to make sure that we know that, the spirit of fear does not come from God. It does not come from the Most High, Yeshaya. It comes from the devil, and it comes from the God of this world. And so I want to make sure that people are aware that even though you see things that are taking place or are being reported in the mainstream media, that we don't let them get to us. We don't let that fear overcome us, because we have to realize and remember that God, the Most High, is in charge at all times. He's got this. Our Messiah, Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, whatever it is you decide to call the Messiah, he gave the ultimate, he paid the ultimate price on the cross. He won this for us. We're already won. We just have to go through this. And fear is for people who don't have any hope beyond the grave. And I pray that each and every one of you, that my voice reaches tonight, you do have that hope beyond the grave. You do have that salvation. You are saved through the blood of Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. I do pray that for you. And if you don't, please get your foundation and get your lives in order, because time is short. These things that we're seeing every day, it's one thing after another, and things are moving so quickly and so fast. And we are living in a time right now that is so volatile that anything could happen at any moment to move us closer to that final climax. So with that being said, I want to show you guys a couple of things. First off, I know that a lot of you keep track of where we stand with our Defcon. Now, this is a couple of weeks old, but I did check, and we are still at Defcon 3. And this has been because of a lot of things that have transpired, a lot of things that have taken place. Not only do we still have, the conflict over between the Ukraine and Russia, but we've also got things heating up in the China and Taiwan situation. We're going to go over that in just a couple of minutes. And now also with Iran getting one step closer to achieving their nuclear, the goal to acquire and to procure nuclear weapons. So all of these things are taking place, and like I said, moving us one step closer to that climax of revelation. And we're keeping our eye on these things. I know right now here in the United States, the economy is just tanking. Gasoline, petrol, diesel is going up exponentially. We can't even keep track of it. Dave gets an email every night, and at midnight it's going up and up and up. We're paying almost $6 a gallon, guys, for diesel. DEF, which is an additive to diesel, and a lot of semi trucks out there require DEF as an additive. We're lucky we don't. And I'll explain that in a second. But the DEF, the additives, the materials to make the DEF are becoming scarce, not by any other hand but the government's. We don't play that DEF game. We have what is called a glider kit from Fitzgerald. We have a 2017 Kenworth 900 with a 1998 Cummins motor, and it does not require DEF, and also doesn't require ELOX. I've talked about this many times. So God has again steered us clear of things of an obstacle that could come, between us and our livelihood, and us and bringing the necessary supplies and products to you guys. So so this was a couple of weeks ago, but again, this is something that has not gone back down. So the current Defcon level is now at 3. And it says Defcon is the U.S. military term. It stands for Defense Readiness Condition. This is part of a system that indicates the level of threat the U.S. faces or may face from other countries and the readiness of a potential military response to such a threat. While I'm reading this, I'm going to put this up on the screen for you. This gives us the Defcon levels. So Defcon 5 is the lowest level of readiness, indicate minimal threat, whereas Defcon 1 indicates a maximum threat and readiness. As of June 2022, the current Defcon level is 3. And it says the U.S. is currently reported to be at Defcon 3 due to the situation and conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The circumstances brought about by Russia attacks in Ukraine have also led to tensions between Russia and NATO. In addition, this has created global backlash against Russia aggression, including imposed sanctions and other restrictions. As a result, the U.S. is at Defcon 3, meaning that certain units are in a state of preparedness for immediate response and deployment if necessary. The Defense Readiness Condition, or Defcon, is a system utilized by the armed forces to identify threat levels to the U.S. and military response readiness. This system is made up of 5 levels, ranging from Defcon 5 as the lowest state of readiness and threat to Defcon 1 as the maximum state of readiness and threat. The U.S. Joint Military Command and the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff indicate the Defcon alert rate for the military as a means of establishing a specific level of required military readiness in response to potential attacks. It's important to understand that Defcon levels are not applied across all U.S. armed forces or even individual units at this time, or at the same time. Hold on a second, I have to cough. Excuse me. Okay. So Defcon 1, and for the record, we have never been to Defcon 1, which is actually the best thing that you could hear, because Defcon level 1 is considered the most severe readiness condition in terms of threats and response. At this level, the military is at maximum readiness to immediately respond to threats or attacks, and those related to nuclear warfare in particular. This means that all necessary troops are mobilized, prepared to deploy and fight at a moment's notice. We hit Defcon 1, that means the pistol is cocked. That means our finger is on the button, and that means that the missiles will most probably be in the air within a certain amount of time. Defcon 2 means fast pace. Defcon 2 level is considered the second most severe readiness conditions in terms of the military response to a threat. Again, this level is also related directly to imminence of nuclear attack. This means that any necessary unit of the U.S. Armed Forces are ready to deploy and fight within 6 hours or less. Defcon 3, or roundhouse, this is where we are right now. Defcon 3 indicates that select forces are ready to deploy where needed within 15 minutes. This level means that there is an increase in the readiness of the U.S. forces above what would be considered normal. Such response readiness would most likely apply to relevant and necessary security forces as opposed to the military as a whole. Defcon 4, which is known as double take. Defcon 4 indicates readiness that is still above normal. This typically means that there is an increase in gathering intelligence as well as tightening of security measures. Defcon 4 is a common state of readiness among military units and bases across the globe. I think we've been at a Defcon 4 for a number of years before this month. Defcon 5 is known as fade out. It's the lowest state of readiness for the U.S. military. It indicates normal or peaceful level of threat and response, and this level is considered the baseline of alert for the military during periods of no active or impending conflict. So as of right now, we are, like I said, at the Defcon 3. We are at the roundhouse state. which means that the military can respond to any given situation within 15 minutes. The Department of Defense introduced Defcon as a military alert system in 1958, approximately a decade after the beginning of the Cold War. The Defcon system was created after the North American Defense Command, or NORAD, was established with Canada. At first, Defcon indicated 3 readiness levels, normal, increased, or maximum, and then added 5 more until the system was simplified to its current 5 levels. It's important to consider the historical Cold War context of Defcon, and the levels are tied specifically to nuclear threats. The Cold War was a period of tension between the United States and the Soviet Union, along with the allies of such nation. The development of nuclear weapons and the threat of nuclear conflict between the U.S. and the Soviet Union were at the center of the Cold War. This is especially true of Defcon 1, indicating an imminent or in progress nuclear attack, and Defcon 2, indicating a strong likelihood of nuclear war. Though some countries have similar Defcon threat warning levels these apply only to the U.S. military. In addition, not all changes in Defcon levels affect the entire U.S. military or the Department of Defense. For example, the Department of Defense may remain at a different Defcon level than a specific military unit, base, or mission. And it goes on to talk about historical examples. And I will put this link in the description area below for you to look at for Defcon 1 and 2. But I wanted to specifically look at Defcon 3 because Defcon 3 was where the United States went immediately on September 11th. There have been few historical events that have led to Defcon 3, most notably during the attacks of September 11, 2001. Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld ordered the level of Defcon 3. There was also reportedly an order to stand by for a potential increase to Defcon 2. In August of 1976, U.S. forces in South Korea were at readiness level of Defcon 3. This was in response to an axe murder incident in Panmunjom, which led to Operation Palbunion. In October of 1973, Egypt and Syria jointly attacked Israel, marking the beginning of the Yom Kippur War. Within approximately 2 weeks of this attack, the following U.S. forces were placed on alert at Defcon 3: Strategic Air Command, Continental Air Defense Command, European Command, and the 6th Fleet. This elevated alert was in response to concerns of the Soviet Union intervention in the conflict. Certain documents declassified over 40 years later indicate there was a CIA report of a Soviet Union ship that had been sent to Egypt carrying nuclear weapons, which motivated the level of the Defcon 3. And this state of alert lasted for a few days. Now, I've done a lot of looking, a lot of researching, and I can tell you the reasons for this Defcon 3. And one of the reasons, pull it up. One of the reasons is this report: Iran is closer than ever to a nuclear weapon, and Biden has run out of options. This was dated yesterday. Long-running tensions over Iran's nuclear capabilities may have reached a point of no return this week, thrusting the Middle East into uncharted waters. According to CNN, Tehran has ramped up uranium enrichment at a pace not seen since 2015, signing of a landmark deal which saw Iran curb uranium enrichment in exchange for sanctions relief before former United States President Donald Trump withdrew from the agreement in 2018. Analysts believe that Tehran may have already attained the material needed to manufacture a nuclear weapon. On Thursday, Iran switched off surveillance camera used by the international nuclear watchdog, the IAEA, to monitor activity at the country's key nuclear facilities. The move, IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi warned, could deal a fatal blow to negotiations that seek to revive the nuclear deal. The absence of footage from nuclear sites deprives negotiators of nuclear deal, known firmly as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, of data, making it technically impossible to have an agreement, Rafael Grossi told CNN Thursday. Or you could have a deal on the basis of no information, which I suppose is not going to happen, said Grossi. This is why we are saying that it's a very serious thing. It has consequences, and of course it does. Iran has also begun installing advanced centrifuges in a cluster at the underground enrichment plant, according to Reuters, which reported that it saw an IAEA report describing an escalated nuclear activity in Iran. Reported incident came after the governing body of the IAEA passed resolution for failing to explain uranium traces found at 3 undeclared sites. The acceleration of Iran's nuclear program comes amidst rising tensions between Iran and the U.S. Talks around the JCPOA are at a standstill over mounting pressure from Tehran to have the country's Revolutionary Guard Corps, the elite branch of the Iranian armed forces, delisted as a terror organization. This is believed to be the final sticking point in nearly a year and a half of negotiations between the two countries. Both sides have so far refused to budge on the issue, thanks to domestic political pressure in their respective countries. So this is a big deal, guys. This is a huge deal. And this is going to involve Israel. I do believe that Iran is going to be part of the coalition of nations that's going to come against Israel in the last days. In the book of Revelation, it talks about an attack coming from the north. I do believe Iran will play a significant part in that. So this is a big deal. This is something we need to watch for. I do see why the United States has gone to Defcon 3 with this. This is a serious... unless I got a cough. This is a serious situation that is coming to fruition here. A lot of people don't realize that when it talks about Iran shutting off the sensors, shutting off the cameras, Israel will not even let the people go in and do the inspections. I don't know how Israel's gotten away with it for so long. Well, I do, but if we don't hold all the people accountable, each and every government accountable, then it's hard to put sanctions on another country who does the same thing. And Iran is doing the same thing. It's not letting the inspectors come in, same as Israel, shutting off the monitors, same as Israel. So it is definitely something to keep a close eye on. I do believe that the Middle East is being destabilized on purpose, and will be used. Don't forget, we still have Damascus. We need to be watching for Damascus, the destruction of Damascus. That's something that is one of the, events that we're all watching for. Let me just put it that way. So, another thing I believe is pushed us to Defcon 3 is China. This is through Al Jazeera. To smash to smithereens, China threatens an all-out war over Taiwan. This is something that has been being ignored. A lot of people aren't realizing. It's almost like they're playing the shell game. Watch Russia, watch Ukraine, but ignore China. Just don't worry about them. Don't worry about China. When in reality, this is something else that we really need to keep an eye on. Defense Minister warns his U.S. counterpart, China will not hesitate to start war if self-ruled islands engages in independence plot. China will not hesitate to start a war and smash to smithereens any Taiwan independent efforts. Its defense minister warns his U.S. counterpart in the pair's first face-to-face talks. If anyone dares to split Taiwan from China, the Chinese army will definitely not hesitate to start a war, no matter the cost. He said that on Friday, just a few days ago. The PLA, People's Liberation Army, would have no choice but to fight and crush any attempt of Taiwan independence, safeguarding national sovereignty and territorial integrity. Despite the combative words, Wise said the talks with Austin went smoothly. So other than that pesky thing of we will crush you if you decide to step in, or if Taiwan decides, because we've already said that the United States is going to side with Taiwan. So aside from the fact that we just said that we will crush you, talks went smoothly. This meeting took place on the sidelines of the Shangri-La Dialogue Security Summit in Singapore for nearly an hour, double the time initially allotted. Chinese minister also pledged that Beijing would smash to smithereens any Taiwan independence plot and resolutely uphold the unification of the motherland. According to the Chinese Defense Ministry, Taiwan is China's Taiwan. Using Taiwan to contain China will never prevail, it said in a statement. Beijing claims self-ruled Taiwan as its own and has not ruled out the use of force to take control of the island. Austin told Wai that Beijing must refrain from further destabilizing actions towards Taiwan, the Pentagon said. An American official, speaking in conditions of anonymity, said most of the meeting focused on Taiwan, and Austin reiterated Washington's position on Taiwan was unchanged, while criticizing China's military aggression. The United States has major concerns about increasing PLA behavior, particularly unsafe, aggressive, unprofessional behavior, and is concerned that the PLA may be attempting to change the status quo through its operational behavior, the official said. A Chinese fighter aircraft dangerously intercepted an Australian military surveillance plane in the South China Sea region in May, and Canada's military accused China warplanes of harassing its patrol aircraft as it monitored North Korean sanction evasions. Austin and Wai's first face-to-face meeting comes as U.S. President Joe Biden is seeking to spend more time on Asian security issue after months of focusing on Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. Although both sides say they want to better manage their relationship, Beijing and Washington remain at odds over several volatile security situations, from Taiwan's sovereignty to China's military activity in the South China Sea and Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. The United States is Taiwan's most important international supporter and arms supplier, a source of constant friction between Washington and Beijing. In the latest arms package, the U.S. announced on Wednesday the sale of parts for Taiwanese naval ships at an estimated cost of $120 million. During the meeting, Wai told Austin the sale seriously undermined Chinese sovereignty and security interests, according to state broadcaster CCTV's military channel. China has increased military activity near the island in recent years, claiming the moves are a response to what it calls collusion between Taipei and Washington. So these are several reasons that we stand right now at Defcon 3. And I foresee us staying at Defcon 3 indefinitely. We, again, between Iran, between China, things are very volatile right now. So, yeah, awkward moment when it realized Al Jazeera brings more truth. Yes, it does. Al Jazeera is one of the sources that I go to, far and above mainstream media here in the United States. So, but I do foresee us staying at Defcon 3 for the time being, at least as long as the Taiwan and Chinese situation is remaining volatile, and Iran is another very disturbing like I said, destabilization in the Middle East is something that is a problem. So, all right, I am going to put all of the links in the description area below, so you can have access to the stories yourselves. You know what, Eric, do you got time to come up? Eric, let's see if we can get Eric Spitfire up here real quick. Give you guys an update. I'm not sure where we're going to be tomorrow. Wednesday night. I'm not sure where we're going to be. It may either be here, like I said, or over on. I know Eric was out. He was out having fun today. He was out on the lake. That's for Eric. Nobody else. Thank you very much. If he wants to come up, I can give you an update. I do know. I don't know if he appealed for Sentinels of Truth channel from last week. I'm not really sure if he did or not. I know that I lost the appeal for the Rise of the New World Order channel. So, but if he wants to pop up here, if not, I'm going to shut this down. And I will be back. Well, we'll be back Wednesday regardless, probably over here, most likely. Give him a couple minutes, see if he wants to pop in. Like I said, he was out on the lake earlier. He was out on his skidoo. We just had a bunch of tornado warnings here in Illinois come through. I went to the basement twice. Not because I was scared, but my phone told me to. Get out, shut the front door. I know, right? You are very welcome. All right, I guess he doesn't want to pop on. That's fine. Anybody else got anything they want to pop on and say or not? All right. Going once. Going twice. All right, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody in the chat room for joining us tonight. I want to thank everybody who will be joining us afterwards. Just let you know, we're still here. We haven't gone anywhere. So until next time, guys, I just want to tell you all good night. And remember, eyes open, no fear.